Yo, I'm Jay Beersink. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're here for another edition of Journal Talks. This is a series where we go into my journal, I open up a random page, and we talk about it. Why? Maybe to learn about me, maybe to learn about you, maybe to laugh, maybe to do something else. I don't know, but I think it's entertaining, and it's fun for me, and I know most of us are kind of cooped up in our houses anyway, so hey, something is better than nothing. That's how I feel. So yeah, we're here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'm in my apartment that I have for the next month here. I have this apartment through a work trade that I'm doing for a woman who owns a couple schools here in Chiang Mai. She owns 6 schools, but because of the virus, all of her schools are closed, but she has to pay for the apartment anyway. So in exchange, I'm doing some gardening and some things like that. But yeah, so we're gonna be here for most of this series. So get used to this view. This is the apartment. This is like, behind me here is a little chain link fence that's like the outside area of my apartment. Okay, so now we're gonna open this up and see what we talk about today. Oh wow. Wow, we have a bunch of stuff here. Okay, so this is an extension of another entry, so I'm gonna flip back a page. I'm not trying to skip it, don't worry. Ooh, this is a very long one. This is like a 5-page one. Okay, well, we'll see what's happening. So, the name of the entry is Talking to Drew on Pawan and Mild's Porch. Drew is my best friend from back home. He's been my best friend for 10 years. We lived on Woodby Island together. We grew up there. We didn't grow up there. Maybe I moved there when I was around 10, and he moved there when he was around maybe 12, I don't know. But we grew up as young adults there together. All sorts of trouble and fun and love and laughs and cries together there. So yeah, he's my best friend. Pawan and Mild are my friends who live in the north of Thailand in a place called Nakhon Sawan, where I actually arrived when I started my travel about 4.5 months ago. I lived at their house for about 3 weeks because they were getting married. I was helping them with the wedding, and just because we were hanging out having a good time. So this is after December 17th, so maybe I'd been there for about a week, and I was talking to my best friend on the phone. Been hanging out at Pawan's for the last week in Thailand. Finally got a pen to keep up the journal, thank God. A lot has happened over this week. First, I arrived at Thailand and took a bus up to Mild and Pawan's. When I arrived at their compound, I put compound in quotations because I did not expect them to have such an amazing, huge, beautiful house. If you're curious of what that looks like, you can check either my first Thailand vlog, or you can check the Mild and Pawan wedding vlog. You'll see their backyard and their house and their compound there. It is quite extravagant. I was dropped off by a driver who came to pick me up. A parentheses, felt crazy. It was very strange to get picked up by someone who wasn't them. He just said, oh, I'll send my driver, send his driver over, and I was pretty shocked at that. At the front gate and was wildly confused. I felt like I was in a lobby of a hotel or something, but the driver left and I was standing there all alone. Yeah, so he dropped me off in front of their compound. In front of their compound there was just like this huge open kind of like open air like veranda type thing. Well, it wasn't a veranda because it wasn't a deck, but it was just like a big, I don't know, you know, just a big open area with like benches and seats everywhere, and there were people who were, it was like the entrance to their shooting range, because actually before their house they have a shooting range, but I didn't know that at the time. I just thought I got dropped off at like a mall or something. It was very funny. I felt like I was in a lobby of a hotel or something, but the driver left and I was standing there alone, so I said screw it, started walking through. Eventually I came to a huge fountain overlooking a courtyard. The courtyard was full of people, maybe 100 people. Confused yet intrigued and empowered by the idea I was in the right place, I continued down the path towards the huge house. So yeah, I actually arrived, Pawan and Mild just had built their beautiful house. They'd been building for maybe a year, and now when I arrived there was 100 people there because they were having like a house prayer warming ceremony. There were a bunch of monks there and the whole family was there, about 100 people, and there was food everywhere and music, and it was just like a whole little event going on. It reminded me, actually, I worked in the wedding business for a long time, about 5-6 years, and it reminded me of a wedding. I thought I was walking into like a little wedding event, and it was so funny because I had just got off the plane and got off the bus, and I just felt so grungy and dirty, and I was walking into this high-class event in this compound, and I was so confused and everything, but it was amazing. It was really, really fun to walk into. Seconds later I ran into Mild and got a comforting, friendly embrace that eliminated all feelings of uneasiness. That's what I was talking about feeling dirty. I walked in and then she gave me a hug and I saw her, and Mild is Pawan's wife, and I was like, oh, thank God, I don't feel like I'm so confused and dirty enough to be here anymore. Powan's house is stunning, very modern, very elegant. It's like his house is designed like the inside of an Apple store. That's how I would describe it. Like, kind of like dull colors, very wide open space, a lot of floor space, high ceilings, very like futuristic, modern. When I say modern, I mean like, I think that's kind of like a design, like imagine like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's house. I know some people may have seen, some people may have not, but I have seen it, and it looks like that kind of same color with like a lot of space in between everything. Like all the steps have space in between them, and like everything is just kind of laid out in like a, it almost looks like it's like minimalistic, but it's really just trying to be like futuristic, I think. Either way, it's a very beautiful house. They have been treating me so well, almost like family. It is truly wild. We picked up an American guy named Ryan the next day, Cali boy, very good man. He had just come from 6 weeks in the mountains in northern Thailand, living an ascetic life. No booze or sex or alcohol, yoga, meditation every day. He was quite blissed out, possibly for the first time, which in my mind contributed to his high liberalism, as I coined it. Okay, yeah, so this was a really funny thing. First of all, they were treating me so amazingly. It was really like one of the most comforting times I've ever experienced in my life, because I didn't know Powan and Mild that well before. I'd met them a year or two before in a hostel they owned in Bangkok, and I didn't know them super well when they had invited me to come to their wedding and whatnot. But either way, you know, I had gone because it seemed like they wanted me to come, and it seemed like a really good experience, so I went. And they immediately just took me in and treated me like family, and it was so wild, so hospitable, so caring. And the best word to describe it is just selflessness. They were selfless when it came to making sure that I was, you know, comfortable, and that everything was, yeah, it was so amazing. And when we picked up Ryan, he was all blissed out, man. He was feeling so good. Every morning he was doing his yoga and he was stretching, and he was, you know, it just was so cool to see, because I've been in that state before where I feel really just in tune and in sync, because I got my good routine and I'm just feeling perfect. And it was so funny to see him, because also what kind of went along with that was like this idea, like certain things you shouldn't say, like you shouldn't, you know, bro, let's not spout negative ideas, bro. Let's just keep it all positive, you know? Let's just try to like not use that kind of language, because it's really bringing down the frequency, you know? I'm trying to keep it high. And so like that's what I coined as like the high liberalism, because like I feel like the high liberalism ideals kind of go to like censorship and like trying to get other people to conform to the way that you think they should be and everything. So that's why I coined him as a high liberal. But he's a fucking great guy. I didn't mean to like, you know, talk down on him or anything. I just thought it was funny. Really trying to enlighten everyone to higher ways of thinking and being, which I respect very much, but also believe that notion is grown from a fallacious seed. Better to be about it than to talk about it. Yeah, better to be about it than talk about it, I think. And he was both. He was being about it and talking about it, and I think it was just because like it was such a profound experience for him, and I mean, that blisses me out now just to even think about it, really. Also, tangible truth is usually precarious to the truth. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. Also, tangible truth is usually precarious to the truth. So what I guess I'm meaning there is, if you believe that you have some kind of a actual pragmatic truth that you can express, then you're probably actually taken away from the actual journey of becoming a holistic and beautiful, thriving, radiant human, because the truth is, I think, ever evolving and something that cannot be defined. And once you put a definition on it, you put a box on it, and that's when the truth becomes a ideology, and then the ideology can become venomous, because you start to live through this truth without actually expanding your truth. So that's, I think, what I meant through that. But that's an interesting idea. A tangible truth is usually precarious to the truth. Nevertheless, then we went to Wonder Fruit Festival. It was wildly beautiful and a stunning time. Wonder Fruit Festival was freaking lit. I have a vlog of that. It was a festival in Pattaya, Thailand for 3 days. It was really expensive, but it was really, really, really fun. Great sound systems, tons of different stages, and great crazy music. And you know, there was a lot of other like cool artistic things going on, but not so much. It was more just for me. I was just sending it, having a crazy good time dancing. I was dancing so much in the hot sun. I have a vlog of that. It's pretty cool to check out that vlog. It's actually my most viewed, I think, YouTube video of all time, because I think that it was like trendy. You know, everyone was searching up Wonder Fruit, so it became popular. I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, go check out that vlog, Wonder Fruit Festival vlog. Super, super, super fun. festival was wildly beautiful and a stunning time. A huge festival surrounded by lush tropical mountains, great music of all kinds, although I will say it was quite judgy. I felt like I was in the States at a college party for rich kids. Not the most free and wild vibe, but whether that was majority or not, people understand what it means to have a good time, even if it's only conceptual and the ego holds them back from the experiential part. Yeah, so what I meant by this is like everybody wants to have a good time and everybody's there to have a good time, but actually letting go and really having a good time is can be hard when you're you know, trapped in your mind. And like how I said, this was an expensive festival. It's about $200, which is about 6,000 baht, which is not affordable for the average Thai person to just go to. So most of the people attending this festival were younger, like social media influencers. It seemed like there were a lot of like famous or like micro influencer Thailand type young people. A lot of people were dressed up to the T and like not like I was literally in shorts and like you know, bare feet and just sweating my ass off dancing and like really not like in the most attractive or presentable state. Like some of these people, you know, they were dressed to the T with beautiful makeup, beautiful things in their hair, taking a lot of Instagram pictures and stuff, not really going for it. But no one really, you know, was too rude to me about me going for it, but they kind of looked at me as like an anomaly, which is not necessarily the kind of vibes that I want to be having at a festival. I want everyone to be going for it. That's when it really gets fun, I think. But it's still a great time. Great time. And this is a cool festival. I think if you want to go in the future, if I was going to go back, I would go back for like a networking purpose. I think you could really network some crazy things on there at that festival. You know, you could get a lot of social media exposure. You could make a lot of connections in that world. You could probably make a lot of YouTube connections, make a lot of all sorts of connections, modeling connections if you want to model in Bangkok and do that kind of thing, or whatever you want to do. I think it's a great place for networking if you're brave enough to just start trying to network. Many cool activities as well, like meditation, yoga, massage, sound therapy, all sorts like that. Yeah, go check out the vlog. There are some other things. There was lots of massage stuff going on, lots of meditation stuff going on. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I participated in a lot of the massage stuff, and this really trippy like wrap. They wrapped my body up in like seaweed after they put me in a bunch of mud, and like then they played this really crazy frequency underneath my body, and it was just like a really profound experience. And there was a lot of weird stuff like that going on. I didn't partake in much of that because I was just dancing my ass off, but yeah, cool festival. I danced so much. The friends and really most people thought I was quite the spectacle. A lot of people were, you know, videotaping me and stuff, which I didn't enjoy. There's some videos on my Instagram of that if you want to go check that out. Instagram, I don't know, it's jbeershank with _ at the end. Danced so much, people thought I was quite spectacular. I don't mind the attention, but it did make me a tad sad that a guy feeling himself 100% is a spectacle. Damn right. A guy feeling himself, anybody feeling themselves 100% shouldn't be a spectacle. It should be, I think, well, I understand that it is, and I understand that it could be admirable, but I wish that it could be like a spectacle for 1 second, and then the next second you have inspired and created more people feeling themselves 100% rather than just being all by yourself the whole time. I think that's the whole point of being alive and being here on the earth, is to live a life that inspires, live a life that contributes to the collective happiness and good of the whole of humanity, just by being a genuine good person who's feeling themselves 100% of the time. Feeling themselves in the most honest, genuine, highest way. Yeah. Only hope it was an inspiring one. Oh yeah, an inspiring spectacle. Man, this is a long one, guys. We rented an amazing villa for the festival with beautiful property and pool. This house was crazy. There was supposed to be like 8 of us staying there, but everyone else ended up not being happy with it because they had like really high expectations of what this house was gonna be like, but to me it was freaking amazing. It had like a huge pool, huge house, huge like yard with all sorts of stuff in the yard, like nice tables and pool table and outdoor seating. It was really sick. I really loved it, but ended up just being like 3 people staying there because everyone else thought it was too dirty and too shitty. But it was like literally, I think like so cheap. It was like $20 a person to stay in this huge beautiful house. I really loved it. Played a lot of pool, did a lot of swimming. It was sick. That's actually where I got the water spot. You can't see the water spot on my camera now, but if you check some other videos, you can see the water spot. Because I tried to get like a really cool shot of the waterfall that went down from the hot tub into the pool, but I got too close and they got a little water spot on my camera. So that, I'll never forget that villa because of that, god damn it. Yeah, for the festival with beautiful property and a pool, great speakers, made many friends and really enjoyed it. So that was about a week. Now I'm back at Powens. I'm going to coordinate the wedding, which is awesome. That's really, really cool. I had the wedding experience like I told you before in this video, and they actually trusted me to be the coordinator for the wedding, which means like I was helping with the organization and the timing and the just the whole coordination of the wedding. It was really, really amazing. I've done that a little bit back home on Whidbey Island. I had maybe done like 2 full-on coordination. Before I was more like assistant coordinator. Maybe I'd done like 2 coordinations by myself. So this was super wild because I had no team and no anything. I just had to kind of figure it all out. And there was people who were setting up and stuff, but as far as like the timing and getting people lined up and walking for the ceremony and like some of the hardest parts, had no help. And it was really like tapping into all of my experience to try to remember how to do it perfectly, and I think it went amazing. I'm really happy with it. Powen and Maud are gonna release their wedding video soon that got like videoed or got recorded by some professionals, and I'm really excited to see how the ceremony looks from the professional lens, to see how good of a job I actually did. I'm really excited to see that. Shout out Maud and Powen, by the way, love you guys. Truly amazing experience. I rented a sexy suit and will put it back on my wedding face. Cheerful, charismatic, funny, and ultra accommodating. I will discuss scheduling and be the go-to question man. I'm excited to use my skills to help such good friends who have done so much for me in this past week. I'm having many thoughts about what I want to do from here on out. I think after wedding I'll go south to Vietnam. I don't know why I said south. Stay for 1 or 2 months, then take a boat to Indonesia. Oh yeah, I was planning to go to Vietnam and boat to Indonesia. I forgot about that. Then I started reading about it more, and I really just felt like, okay, it's probably a really bad idea, and I might get it. Like, there was like so much stuff about like pirates and about like basically just like you'll get on a boat and probably just get robbed. I was really like in my mind, I was like, nah man, I just gotta keep up the good vibes and like, you know, set my aims high and life will work out. And I still kind of think that it would have gone that way, but I ended up talking myself out of it because everybody I talked to was like, dude, that's a terrible idea. But I think it would have been a sick adventure. Sick adventure. Then take a boat to Indonesia, stay for a few months, then in around 6 months from now, come live in Nakhon Sawan for some time to help. Powen was actually going to start a private school at his house, and I was going to come back in 6 months and help him run the private school as a job and get paid and stuff. But he ended up not doing that, and I ended up not going to Vietnam, and I ended up doing so much different stuff. But the 6 months would have been like next month, but I talked to him recently, and he's like super blissed out in his house with his wife, and they're having a good old time, and they're not interested in starting a school for all that stress. They're just wealthy and living life, so I can understand. Help Powen start Heaven City School. So Nakhon Sawan, I believe, means Heaven City, so he was going to start the school and name it Heaven City School. I think that's funny. It would have been like a private English American, not necessarily American, but I kind of think like primarily American, like cultural immersion school. So you would kind of just like be exposed to English culture and American culture and just be able to like hang out and talk to foreigners, I think. During that time, I'll get an apartment and chill, work on an online biz, have a home base for a while, make good money, then set off once more going north. I'm truly very grateful, happy, and awakened to the beauty of time and opportunity. I'm truly very grateful, happy, and awakened to the beauty of time and opportunity. Yeah, so at this point, it was 3 weeks into my, or I guess like 1 week into my trip had just started. So now I'm 4 months in, and I realize a little bit how much of like an idealist I was. You know, I was like trying to plan so much, but the thing about life is, you know, plans hold you back a lot. Like, I haven't done any of the things that I plan to do, but so many beautiful things have happened to me along the way, so I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, so this is more just like, I don't know if I can really broke this into a philosophical, you know, journal entry here. I think this was just a fun one just to kind of hear how I was thinking, you know. Yeah, don't plan too much, you know, and don't, I think, hold on to your plans too tightly, because if things come up and things change and you feel like it's wrong, then you can be blind to a lot of the beautiful synchronicities that might be going on, or definitely are going on right in front of you right now. So, you know, just go with the flow, man. So that's that one. Hope you enjoyed this little talk. That was talking to Drew on the porch at Mount Powen and Miles. Yeah. Love you guys. Take it easy. Enjoy. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay in the light. Stay in the love. Stay in the flow. Stay disciplined. Stay routine. Do some whatever makes you feel good. Whatever makes you feel truly good. Do a little workout. Do a little meditation. Do a little writing of your own. Maybe do a little reading. Maybe do a little relaxing. Watch a little TV. Who knows? Maybe cook a little food. Maybe call some people who you love that you haven't talked to in a while. Anything that is worth doing, you should do it because you can and you have time to. Love you guys. Take it easy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.